a small fishing island off the coast of Brazil. 1977. Every night lights appeared in the sky. They didn't stay in the sky. They descended. They hovered over houses. They directed concentrated beams of light down onto people while they slept. People woke up with puncture wounds, radiation burns, paralysis that lasted hours. 2 people died. The Brazilian Air Force sent an official investigation team. They spent 3 months on the island. They photographed the craft. They filmed them. They interviewed hundreds of witnesses. Then they classified everything. The officer who led the investigation kept silent for 20 years. When he finally talked, on the record, on tape, he was dead within 45 days. Colares is a small island in the Maranhão archipelago in the state of Pará in northern Brazil. In 1977, it was a quiet fishing community of around 2,000 people. In October of that year, the lights began. At first, locals assumed they were aircraft. They were not behaving like aircraft. They moved silently. They stopped mid-air. They descended slowly toward houses hovering just above the rooftops. Residents started leaving. Whole families evacuated inland. Those who stayed began sleeping in groups, leaving lights on, watching the sky. The locals had a name for them, chupa-chupa, roughly translated from Portuguese, the suckers. The name came from what the lights did to people. The beam was described consistently across hundreds of independent witnesses. Narrow, bright white, like a concentrated laser or a welding torch. It struck a person and they felt immediately paralyzed, unable to move, unable to call out. Some reported a sensation of heat, some felt cold. All of them lost control of their bodies for the duration. When it ended, they were left with physical marks, puncture wounds, small, clean in pairs, on the neck, the chest, the arms, burns on the skin consistent with radiation exposure, hair loss in the following days, extreme fatigue, anemia. Local physicians documented dozens of cases. The wounds did not match any known insect, animal, or weapon. Several victims required hospitalization. At least 2 people did not survive. This was happening every night. In September 1977, the Brazilian Air Force launched a classified investigation, Operation Prato, known in English as Operation Saucer. Captain Uyrangê Hollanda Lima led a team of military personnel directly to Colares. Their mandate was to observe, document, and explain the phenomenon. They stayed for 3 months. What they collected was extraordinary. Over 500 photographs of the craft taken by military personnel using proper equipment. Hours of 16mm film footage, hundreds of witness testimonies recorded and signed, medical documentation of injuries, written reports filed by trained military observers describing craft that performed maneuvers no known aircraft could execute. Hollanda's team did not debunk the phenomenon. They documented it in extraordinary detail. Then they were ordered to classify everything. The files were sealed, and the team was ordered not to speak about what they had found. The medical evidence was not ambiguous. Brazilian physicians who examined the victims in 1977 documented injuries they could not attribute to any conventional cause. The puncture wounds were uniform, 2 small marks, close together, with no surface entry trauma. The burns matched radiation exposure patterns. Blood panels showed anemia consistent with internal hemorrhaging. Several patients showed white blood cell abnormalities. The photographs taken by the military showed craft operating at low altitudes, emitting directed light beams, moving without wings, without visible propulsion, in ways that defied aerodynamics. This was not one witness, not 10. More than 200 people on the island gave testimony. They came from different parts of the island. They had not coordinated their stories. They described the same craft, the same beams, the same aftermath, independently of one another. And the military confirmed it all, and then buried it. In 1997, journalist Claudio Tsuyoshi Suenaga tracked down the man who led Operation Saucer. Uyrangê Hollanda Lima was now a retired colonel. He agreed to a recorded on-camera interview. He confirmed everything. He said the craft were real. He said they were not aircraft of any kind he could identify or explain. He said his team had documented genuine anomalous events. He said the photographs and 16mm footage were real and had been archived by the Brazilian military. He said he felt guilt about the suppression, that the people of Colares had suffered, had been injured, had asked for answers, and had been given nothing. He said the military knew more than it had ever disclosed to the public. The interview was recorded, transcribed, published. 45 days later, he was dead. On August 2, 1997, Uyrangê Hollanda Lima was found dead in his home. He was 52 years old. The official ruling, apparent suicide by hanging. People who had spoken with him in the weeks after the interview said he showed no signs of depression. He had seemed, if anything, relieved to have finally told the truth. He had expressed guilt about the suppression. He had not expressed a desire to die. Brazil partially declassified Operation Saucer in 2009, 32 years after the events. Some photographs were made available. A partial document release followed. The 16mm footage shot by Hollanda's team has never been made public. The families of the people who died in 1977 have never received an official explanation. Not everything gets explained. Some things just get sealed. Emergent truth doesn't deal in easy answers. It deals in things that happened, that were documented, and that were buried anyway. Subscribe. New drop every week. Keep asking.